I woke up every morning like how I always did in my, well, I don't call it a disease because that's atrocious. It's not something that can be cured, something that could have been prevented, like those STDs, maybe with a condom or maybe with some type of vaccination like with the flu. No, it's worse. They might call it clinical depression, but it gets worse than that. That's just the beginning. You feel sad and lonesome and maybe you want to sleep at first, but no, then it progresses to a way of life. You feel absolutely nothing. Everything is the same. The colors are not as they should be. The shades are incorrect. Everything has a little bit of gray in it. So by the time you get to where I was, and the way you see is through the lens of a picture that can only be in black and white, no colors, no shades, just those two things. That is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what happened after that. That just is how I felt every day. It is 5, and we go. We get up to go to this school, and we catch the bus at 5:50. And so I'm out the door, barely dressed in ratty clothes, and that's all askew, and I get on the bus and I go to sleep. And then somebody calls me, frantic, screaming, crying, pleading with me. I did not want to hear, but then when I listened, I realized it was something that ran my blood cold. She, not being her, my mother, or she, her, my grandma, but the younger one, a sibling, scared out their wits, telling me he was coming, he was calling, somehow simultaneously blocking cell phone and home phone usage. She could not get help. Freaking out so much, she was paralyzed, could not open the door to go to the neighbor's house. Barricading oneself inside, believing that it would save them from their ultimate demise. I was like, slow down and tell me what is going on. He is calling, she says, and he is coming back. I'm like, what makes you think he's coming back? She's like, I just know in my heart he's coming. Your blood doesn't run cold like that unless the person who is equal to the devil himself is coming back towards you with darkness looming towards you as you see that your life is at end because you're going to be kidnapped unless you move. And from that moment I knew it had started. I had spoken many times that there would be a showdown. We were going to duke this out. We were going to fight. I was going to end this, even if it meant the end of me, as long as it was the end of you too. But I digress. There was nothing I could do. I was on a school bus to a school, not towards my home, to protect what was mine. And so I did the best thing I could do. I said, try to call somebody, go to somebody's house until I can handle this. I picked up that cellular device and I made that call to the only person I knew who to call. Well, not her. We're going to go to my mom first. I called her too. And he was there and he said, let me talk. Like he was going to mediate me. So we had not left yet, and I told him if he went back to the house, I would kill him. I would end him too, that it was going down. And he basically challenged me by putting the phone back in her hand and walking out, leaving her by herself as he put the keys in the ignition and sped back in record time to the pleasant suburbs where we lived, where the sun was always shining. Well, it was dark and raining that morning. And then once I get there, I'm calling from the school with this awful reception, and I know that we got to do something because he's coming back, and he's coming back fast with a plan. And my grandmother said, I will go, I will get her. I didn't know what to do because the plan was always that everyone would be gone. I would be there with him, and that we were going to duke it out with our hands, with a gun, with a knife, with whatever. I was going to gouge his eyes out, but he got me good. He made sure I was at school, and we warned everyone, and he was stopped in that moment. But from then on, I was forever changed, because later, when it was time to go home, I was rushed out, told not to go back. He was waiting for me too. And now we sit with the policemen who were supposed to help us, acting like superheroes, like they're somebody to us, telling us they cannot get us into our house even though we all live in it. And we had but 30 minutes to get a whole life worth of things out. And as I watched him sit next to a policeman, coercing him to think that he was a good man and we were losing our minds. My dog running around warned us that this man had lost his mind, that he was going to kill us. I was like, how can you sit there and be who you are without thinking that maybe one day you're going to have to pay for what you've done, but it's all right. We're going to get out of here today. As I threw the things into the back of the truck, leaving some of my stuff to get things that did not belong to me, I realized if you wanted it, you get it now, because tomorrow, or as soon as I step out of this house right now, it no longer belongs to me. It belongs to him. It belongs to the life of the suburbs, the secret underground life of the suburbs, the evil and darkness that happens within a home that no one knows about, the family with the kids that cut themselves, and the families that don't talk together, that don't eat together, that don't know each other. That's where our belongings belong to. Our whole life left, 8 years given and taken. And I realized that after I stepped out and he would not give her the parking sticker to her car, that it was over. That the hell we endured was over. Almost. We would have to deal with him later. But I realized that now we could stop doing this thing that we pretended was living. That now we could go out and we could live out there with everyone else and be normal. But as time progressed and we lived afraid to bat an eyelash, post a Facebook status thinking he would hack us and find where we were and come in and kick the door down and kill us, realize that no matter what you do, it will always be with you. The times that he choked you, the times that you were not fed, the times that he beat you, the times that he talked about your own deadbeat father and things like that. Sure, I didn't care about him, but he was mine to talk about and not yours, to pawn against me to make you look like the better man, because you know what? I could be a better man than you ever could. And now I hope you see yourself, look in your reflection, and I hope that you're suffering. I hope you're drinking yourself down into a hole that you can't bring yourself out of. I hope that the next woman that gets what you realize is what she's getting. And I hope that she realizes that she's not just spending her life with you. She's signing her soul away to Satan's own son, Damien, and that when she's there, she's no longer living. She's dying. And so now that I'm done dying, I thank you for what you did, because you made me better than I could have ever been. Challenges make us stronger. No pain, no gain. And I gained something you can never take away from me. A killer instinct, a will to survive. And now that that part of me has died, I'm ready to do something I've been so scared to do. To live and not die. And it